Welcome everyone. This is Zozo Stock Watch. Let's get ready for the week ahead. And we'll start off with the SPY, which was down just a tad this week. And we're looking at a weekly view on the SPY, and you can see we're having a tough time here at this 240 level, trying to get a break above that 240.32 level. That was a high back in March. And so we are still stuck in a range. Bears can't make any headway, and the bulls cannot break out at the moment. And we are holding above the 10 SMA. The 10 SMA on the weekly chart, which is showing strength. So we'll move to a daily chart. And as you can see on the daily chart, we're hanging around the 10 SMA also. And we're holding this 13 EMA on the daily on the SPY. So let's go ahead through some of the indices, the QQQ, and we'll go back to our weekly chart. Qs were up this week, almost 1% on the Qs. And the Dow Jones 30. Okay, for the week, the Dow Jones 30 was down about 0.5% on the Dow 30 stocks. IWM was hit the hardest this week, and that was down over 1.6% on the IWM, but we still are above the 10 SMA on the weekly chart. We're actually came right down to it, and we're holding that, and that number is 136.84 on the 10 SMA on the weekly. The IWC was also down this week, and but you see we're still above the 10 and the 20 SMAs on the IWC, and that's the microcap index ETF. Oil, light sweet crude did bounce this week on the weekly chart. We came down to the 100 SMA on the weekly chart, and we're trying to hold that. And if you want to see the oil was up almost 4% this week. Okay, so almost 4% on oil, and the ETF for that is the USO, and that was up 3% this week. And we'll switch back over to the daily, and you see that 950 area, 925 area held for now, and we're trying to break up above $10. We have a high of 10.04, so we'll see if the bulls can break over this round number of 10 on the oil. But oil was up this week. IBB, and we'll move back to the weekly chart, was down 1% for the week on the IBB. That is currently slightly below on the 10 SMA, and but we are holding the 20 SMA on the weekly chart currently. But you see we're in this tight range right now on the IBB. Next one up is, we went over the SPY, we did the comp. We'll just look at the diamonds, and as you can see on the daily chart, this is the ETF for the Dow Jones, and we're holding above the 10 SMA on the DIA. SMH was very strong again this week. For the week, we were up almost 3% on the SMH, and as you can see, we're riding the 10 SMA on the weekly chart. That's the light blue line you see here. So still a lot of strength in the SMH. The other thing, let's see, the IYT. All right, and that's the transports on the weekly. Trying to hold this 10 SMA. The light blue line here, holding the 34-week above the 34-week moving average. We held it here, here, and here. And let's just look at the Dow Jones transports, and this will give you a better look. And we're trying to hold this. Let's see, we had a low here of 895.52, so we'll call it 895.50 area, and this is the 34-week moving average. So we're trying to hold this area right here on the 34-week on the weekly. On the daily, the transports are trying to hold this 300, I'm sorry, yeah, the 150 moving average on the daily. This is the 150, so we held it here. We held above it here, and we're at the 150 SMA on the daily chart, so we're trying to hold that now for the transports. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? The dollar was up this week. No need to show that chart, but the dollar was a bit stronger. That was up 0.55. I'll go ahead and show it, DXYO. And this is the weekly chart, and it was up half a percent on that, and we are trying to hold this 50 moving average on the weekly, but we're below the fast moving averages on the dollar, and that's represented by the UUP. All right, and let's see, we'll look at this on the daily chart. So this is the UUP. This is the that represents the dollar, and so right now we're trying to hold the 10 SMA on the daily chart, this light blue line. So that's the dollar. Let's see if I missed anything that I want to talk about. Okay, now we'll move into some GLD, and we'll go to the weekly charts again. And the GLD itself was down, a little bit this week, but we are pulling back from the highs, and we're here on the weekly, the 100 SMA on the weekly, the white line right here, and that's GLD. Having said that, copper, JJC, was also down this week, and that was down, almost 0.5%. And still below the 10 SMA for copper, and that's the JJC. And by the way, these are TC2000 charts that I'm using. SLV was up this week 0.5% almost. You see this hammer candle on silver. We were coming near, this support line that had held previously, and it seems like they're, trying to hold above it on SLV, so we'll keep that on watch as one of the ETFs. GDX was up 5% this week, so this is the gold miners. So we'll see what this wants to do, but still below the 10 SMA, back above the 200 SMA, the green line here on the GDX. The GDXJ was also up about 8% this week, GDXJ. And let's see. The VIX. This is the weekly on the VIX, and this got down to single digits. I think it was 960. Yeah, 956 was the low. Got down to single digits, but they closed it up here at 1040. But as you can see, it's still showing weakness, complacency in the market. So according to the VIX, we have nothing to be worried about at the moment. It seems like no one's buying puts, complacency in the market, and people think the market's going to go higher. So, the VIX did go to single digits, but, not a big bounce back on the VIX. So far we've gone through some of the indexes and whatnot. Now we'll go through some of the headlines for this week. And the big news this week was the retail. Retail was a wreck. And just show you this chart. Women continuing to make fewer trips to the mall. All right, so just keep this in mind, and then I'll show you something else. Let's see. Nordstrom stock falls 18% in 2 days as retail slump deepens. So retail was an absolute wreck this week. And just to, when I go over my worst stocks of the week, we'll go through some of those retailers. But the retailers got just basically crushed. I'm trying to see if there was any other articles that I want to show you. This is a chart. You can get this off of Barron's. Just type in Google insider transaction ratio, and as you can see, it's still in the bullish camp. So insiders are not selling and the ratio is still at a low level, so and still at a bullish level on the the insider transaction ratio. So that's good for the bulls. This week there was a lot of articles this week on G7 nations agree joint fight against cyber attacks. We also have a huge cyber attack hits nearly 100 countries. This is going to be, possibly a big move for the cyber stocks this week. Keep that in mind. And hospitals gain control after ransom hack. More attacks may come. So they're calling it the ransom hack. And so the ETF for that is hack. So keep your eye on hack, HACK. Might be in play this week. And then, some of the names, there's FireEye, Palo Alto Networks is another cyber stock. CYBR is a cyber stock, but this one got hit on earnings release. So there's also CUDA, CUDA, and this one also has takeover rumors about it on CUDA. FTNT is another cybersecurity stocks. There's a few of them out there, so keep keep some cybersecurity stocks on your watch, and keep the ETF on your watch. Hack, HACK. The other news from this week was that Buffett has a lot of cash. He was on CNBC on Monday saying that he has built up a lot of cash, and he's having problems where to put it to work. So that was Buffett on Monday, and he had good things to say about Apple, and he sold part of his position in IBM, and that's Warren Buffett, and he was saying that on Monday on CNBC. The other big story in the earnings was Snap, and so Snap got hit on earnings this week. You see the gap down on Snap, so that was one of the big earnings that came out for the week that people were watching. And people that bought up here around that 29-30 area can't be feeling too good now that it's down in the 18 area. Let's hope they got out of that. So some of the leaders in the market, Apple, and that was up over 5%, and this was from Buffett being in the stock, saying he added to the stock, and then he had two price target raises. One was by Goldman Sachs, and I forget the other one who raised it, but that was another reason why Apple was up up 5% for the week. Netflix was up, so all the leaders were pushing the Qs and the Nasdaq Composite up. Netflix was up 3% for the week. Tesla was also up for the week, 5% on Tesla. The other one, Amazon. So your market leaders are still remaining to be leaders. Amazon was up 3%, and Google was green this week. And Google was up, 0.5%, but it was still up for the week. And let's see, Facebook, I believe, was up also. Yeah, Facebook, not as much as the other ones. We're up against this resistance on Facebook, but it was up for the week. So green for the week on Facebook. So that's some of the leaders. Let's see. Jeffrey Gunderlock, he doesn't like the U.S. markets anymore, and he's moving his money into emerging markets, right? EEM, it's emerging markets, and a lot of money went into emerging markets funds this week. Let's see. He is long. Gundlach said he's long the emerging markets and short the S&P ETF. So he's short American markets from what I've read, and he's long on the emerging markets. So EEM is emerging markets. I think the one he's in, MSCI, if my symbol is right. So I might be wrong on this symbol. Bear with me one second. Okay, and this is what I was looking for on what Gunderlock was saying about the U.S. markets and the emerging markets and European markets. So here, I'll put this on for you guys.
Lots of interesting details in Gunlock's presentations. His recommendation is for investors to go long EEM ETF and short the S&P 500 through SPY and leverage that one time. He said his investment thesis is based on looking at the flows between active and passive, and he's looking at how the S&P 500 has performed, and he's seen a shift in EM, and he's looked at those two charts juxtaposed against each other and how they've complemented each other over history, and says now is the time to buy emerging markets, that they're set for a nice increase there. And one of the other news things that we learned in this presentation is that on the way over to the Stone conference today, in the car ride on the way over, Mr. Gunlock created a Twitter account called Truth Gunlock, and over the course of his presentation, in just 15 minutes, he gained hundreds of new followers, and I know the count keeps going up from there. I also should mention too, Kelly, that after his presentation, David Einhorn took to the stage and wanted to clarify that his bearish position in Core Labs was indeed a short position. So lots of new stuff coming out of this conference by the minute, and we're staying on top of it.
Okay, so that was the information on Jeffrey Gunderlock, and so I just wanted to get that out to you in case you missed that. Let's see, so GBTC, which is the Bitcoin ETF, and we'll go to the daily chart. This tracks the Bitcoin ETF, and so it was up here around the 260 level, and now we're back down to the 188 level. So these cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin, popping big, but now a big pullback if you want to keep that on watch. GBTC is the ETF for Bitcoin. And let's see, most of the earnings are out of the way. 90% of the S&P reported earnings, 75% of the companies beat earnings, 64% beat sales, above most of the expectations for earnings. So that came out. And let's see if there's anything else in my notes here that I want to talk about. Went over the leaders, and let's go ahead and get into the best stocks for the week. All right, and we'll go ahead and go to a weekly chart. And first one up was DDD, and that was up 28%. 3D printing on DDD up 28% for the week. NVIDIA was up this week over 23% for NVIDIA on their earnings. Keep an eye on gold stocks. A lot of gold stocks were up this week. Let's see, AUY up over almost 10% on AUY. PAAS was up, PAAS was up almost 8% for the week. SSRI was up for the week, 11%. SLW was up 6% for the week. So these are all those, miners. HL was up over 8% this week, almost 9%. RGLD was up 10% for the week. AG was up 16% for the week on AG, silver. Other companies that were up for the week were Electronic Arts, and they had good earnings numbers, and that was up for the week 14%. ATVI was up for the week 4%. And these are all those gaming stocks. TTWO was also up for the week, almost 4%. A home builder that was up this week was BZH. Beazer Homes was up almost 13% for the week. LL, Lumber Liquidators, was up for the week 15%. WTW, Weight Watchers, was up 12% for the week. So that was some of the better stocks for the week. Obviously not all of them, but some of them. Let's see, some of the worst stocks for the week, and this is going to tie into the retail that we talked about. JCPenney's was down 17% for the week. Macy's down 19% for the week. KSS, which is Kohl's, was down 9% for the week. JWN down 16% for the week. Yelp was down 20% for the week, YELP. ADRX, and Yelp was down after their earnings. ADRX, nope, must have the wrong symbol on that one. AKTX, sorry. AKTX was down 32% for the week. AKTX. NXTM was down 20% for the week. DDS, another retail stock, was down 19% for the week. HZNP down 34% for the week on HZNP. Time down 15% for the week. HTZ down 30% for the week on Hertz, and that's the car rental. Cake was down 7% for the week. So that was some of the stocks that were down big for the week, and most of them retail. Hertz got hit bad this week. So let's see. I forgot to mention that the FBI Director Comey was fired this week by Donald Trump. So that hit the market too. But we did bounce back from that. The other thing, let's see, AT&T conceded to Verizon on the purchase of STRP. Okay, and let's see, this is STRP, yep. And this Straight Path Communications. So Verizon won out on this deal. And you see this was like a $20 stock, went up to $200 and something. But supposedly Verizon has won that, and they'll be buying it. So that GSAT, put that in play because they're exploring selling, potential sale of themselves on GSAT. CFRX is doing a mixed shelf, 100 million shelf, S3 on CFRX. Another one, CYTX, doing an S3 100 million shelf on CYTX, so that's not good. NVAX, the director came out and purchased 20,000 shares on NVAX, and that was on Friday, I believe. So that's just some news that came out that I have written down and sharing with you. So now let's go ahead and get ready for the week ahead. That was some information that came out. Actually, let me just go through this real fast. AstraZeneca was up, AZN up over 9% this week, and you can see the news there. CAPR had news this week, so keep an eye on that. It was down, shares plunged 62% on CAPR. Let's see, ADRX was in the news this week. SGYP, Eli Company, LLY, and here's some advancers for you. GLYC up 23%, and these are all bio. SGMO was up 17%, ECYT up 16%, and then some decliners here. So you can see those on your own. We'll get rid of this. Next thing we should go over. Oh, and I just want to say I get that information emailed to me. He has a weekly and a daily email. So if you're interested in that, you can copy this website right here. Okay. So that's where I get that information. It's a really good little newsletter that comes out on a daily and weekly basis. Let's see, what else did I want to show you guys? All right, so let's go ahead and get ready for the week ahead, and we'll start with the economic. And let's get on the right date there. Okay, and let's see. So Monday is the 15th. And earnings are dying down a little bit, but we still have some earnings coming out, and I'll go through this more in a few minutes. But you see, if you just click on this at the trade exchange, the calendar, and then you can get the earnings, the top earnings coming out for the day. But let's see, anything major on Monday? Nothing major Monday. Maybe housing market index, which is coming up. Let's see, any housing starts on Tuesday. API crude oil numbers coming out. MBA mortgage applications. A little bit of Fed speak this week at 1:15 on Thursday, and then James Bullard on Friday for earnings. Other than that, nothing major. Leading indicators, and then don't forget oil numbers on Wednesday, the EIA petrol status. And I think that's about it for the earnings. I'm sorry, for the economic. For the earnings, more retail stocks will be coming out this week. So let's see. We have on Monday, let's see, we have Reeds, we have BDSI, Bio Delivery, BDSI, symbol there, SORL, also Travago, TRVG is the symbol for Travago. So that was just some that I wrote down. Tuesday, we have TJ Maxx. Now, this has been one of the stronger retailers, and Home Depot, HD, another one of the strong retailers. So we'll see how they do. Dick's Sporting Goods, DKS, symbol there. Staples, SPLS. This is a 3D printer, Stratus, SSYS is the symbol there. Jack in the Box will be coming out with earnings, JACK, for the earnings for that one. On Wednesday, we have Target, so retailer there. American Eagle, AEO, CTRN, City Trends, and then a big one is Cisco, and that's after the close on Wednesday, the 15th. Thursday, we have Walmart, we have Alibaba, BABA, WMT, Ralph Lauren, RL, Ross Stores, ROST, Gap Stores, GPS, AMAT, AMAT, I'm sorry, Applied Materials, AMAT, AMAT, Applied Materials, and Bob I had mentioned. And then on Friday, we have John Deere, Campbell Soup, and also Foot Locker coming up. So those are your earnings coming up. A lot of retail still in the mix. So keep an eye on your earnings for the week. Make sure, if you're holding any of these stocks, and they come out with their earnings, you're sitting at your computer or you have your mobile device, okay? So we'll see how these retailers do. And that's your earnings for the week from, May 15th through Friday, May 19th. Okay, and let's see if there was anything else I wanted to get to. We did the economic, we did the earnings. So that should get you ready for the week ahead. And I want to thank you for listening. This has been Zozo Stock Watch. You can find me on Twitter, Zozo Stock Watch. And you can also find me on Stock Twits. And tomorrow I'll come out with my list of stocks that I'm going to be watching for Monday. And, I'll get that out to you on Sunday. All right. So thank you very much for listening. This has been Zozo Stock Watch, getting you ready for the week ahead. Let's get ready for the week ahead, and let's get ready for Monday, 5:15. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Zozo Stock Watch.